I feel like female friendships are made in heaven.
Oh.
In terms of, I feel like there's something that women have. If you get a solid girlfriend, you know you're really sorted. But if you get somebody else,
person,
then you're also going on another tangent.
yes.
And then something we spoke about with Grace was, is it possible for female friendships to be toxic? So you'll go and tell your girlfriends about a guy you're dating or you're hoping to date, and he's doing certain things to you, and they're like, that's toxic. Like, he's emotionally abusive, he's this and the other. But is it possible for female friendships to be toxic?
I have very solid, good friendships.
Yeah.
But I've chosen. It's deliberate. I've chosen who is around me.
How did you choose?
I think maybe it's in my
Like,
subconscious.
I want you.
And even when I hang out with a lot of my friends, sometimes they'll ask me, how are you friends with that one? But I just choose, and then I choose, then I'm loyal to you. But I think that it's my responsibility to be conscious about who is around me, and I have very good, solid friendships. Toxicity tuachie wanaume. No.
I couldn't agree more. I think I'm a lot like you. Like, I have been fortunate to have very close friends, some of whom even time and distance doesn't mean anything. So and my friends tend to be in they tend to form out of formal spaces that have been two. So starting with high school, my closest group of friends up to now are from high school. And then when I went to college, I also had a group of friends. Most of my college friends have now since left the country, but we are still very close. So whenever people are in town, we make time, we meet and we talk. And when something is happening in my life, like when I have a serious thing going on, they come through, they send their family members to me, as in. So I've been very fortunate in that way. And then also in each of the places I've worked, I come out with some friends, groups. So and then also we have some couples that we've been meeting for marriage enrichment for 10 years now. So those ladies are also my friends. So like all my friends come from formal spaces that I've been in, or groups, and I also feel like that intentional thing. Like I decide that if I decide, it's going to be. And I also recognize that people are not perfect. So once I understand what your flaws are, I decide whether I can deal with them or not. So
that's a good place to be.
Yeah, I personally believe female friendships can be toxic, right? And the reason I think we don't like to perceive female friendships as toxic is because we're not as deliberate sometimes about female friendships as we are with guy friendships. Before you date a guy, you will know. You know those lists we keep getting told, like put those lists aside, right? You will know all that about a guy. But when it comes to female friendships, I feel like sometimes we're not as intentional as that. And that's why I feel like sometimes we stay in toxic female relationships longer than we should, first because we don't even identify them as toxic. And this is a conversation Jojo and I keep having. And whenever we have conversations, I'm like, forget the fact that this person is female. Look at their behavior. If that behavior was being exhibited by a guy, you would immediately say it's toxic. But why is it that when it's a girl who does things that leave you feeling disempowered, or talks down at you, or does these other things, we don't want to label that toxic, yet it's toxic,
like June has said something that touched on how I've picked out my friendships. Is najua huyu ni mstingy.
So unajua
huyu hizi ni gedo. Lakini if something happens to me and I go to her, she'll be the shoulder, she will be the comforter, she will be the person to call this person, or she will do anything. She will tell me, you know what, girl, what do you feel like you need to do right now?
Let's do it.
You need to get a massage, let's go pay. Like but nikimuomba hivi ati maze kushikana pale tano.
Is it not easy? So you know what you get from each friend?
It's knowing who is who.
You
have to know your people and you choose your squad.
It's not understanding someone's strengths and
weaknesses.
So like, okay, like I have a friend who if I want to have fun, she's the one I call. And that doesn't take away from the fact that she's also the person I call when I have problems. As in, she's just solid, she's just there. But I know, like, if I want to have an excellent time on short notice, she's the person to call.
So I have none of that.
Of friendship.
What do you mean?
Yes. You have none of that.
Gosh, what would I do without my girl?
None.
We are going to adopt you.
And here's the weird thing. I am okay with that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. And my friends are gonna, people that I know are going to look at this and be like, what? I thought you were really close. I have acquaintances. I have people I work with really well. I have good relationships with females that I've come to know, over the years. But in recent time, when I was going through, it was a tough period for me.
You've ever been through a tough period?
You just don't see me posting on Twitter about it.
I know.
I'll confide in my husband, I'll cry, adiache hapo nilie, na niamke na niende, maisha. So none of these so-called friends reached out. It was in the public domain, by the way. To me, a friend is, even when I have messed up, call and say, girl, you got messed up.
Yeah.
But guess what? I'm
Jail are you
coming over
in?
with wine. I'm coming over with wine or your favorite vodka, tutakunywa ulie, and then it will be okay. So until I see until I see that, you're not my.
I feel like I went
I
through
think
this
we
whole
are
struggle
very much
before.
the same.
I
But
feel
you
like we're
can't
very much
expect that of people.
No, let me tell you.
Then
I feel
why
like
are
you're
you?
setting yourself up.
Well,
Maybe.
and it's true. Maybe that's
Maybe.
true.
Yeah.
Maybe we're
But I
setting
used to do
ourselves
that.
up.
I used to hide in a corner. I've been in depression for 3 weeks. Nobody knew. I was locked up in the house. People used to call and I pick. Hi, Samanyate. I tend to call back. I go back. I'm crying. I'm dying. I'm not eating. Siogi zikuli zilali. And you have this expectation, stop, drop, and roll world. I'm going through this, but that's crossing someone's boundaries. Because again,
But that's what a friend
Friends
is
are used to.
for.
What's really the essence of having a friend?
you can call.
No, yes. What's the essence
You
of
can
having them
call.
if they're not also calling you?
Exactly.
They're also calling you,
No,
but they
chill.
don't know what's happening.
No, they know. That's my point. You see, as a public figure, they know.
Let me
Fire
tell you.
those friends. Toxic
But they don't
friends.
call.
You're fired.
It is with what you're saying, and it's conversations we've been having with Jojo, because my definition of friendship, if I tell you guys, I have the people I consider friends on one hand.
Me
On
too.
one hand,
That's a lot.
what I do is I have acquaintances, I have people,
Exactly.
but people I
totally get
consider
you.
friends are people like Joanne, who I know countless times in pajamas in my parking lot. We have had a conversation at midnight. It's people I know. If I call at 3 in the morning, she's not going to go, but JJ is sick or Kuria has to preach tomorrow. She's going to be in my house. That's what I personally consider friendship. They're less than, I can count them on one
But I'm
hand,
asking,
right?
have you called or do you?
And the
You
expectation.
feel that the door is open for you
Yes,
to call.
and
So
again,
it's two ways.
yes,
It is.
and again,
Reciprocate.
we
Maybe
need
I
to
feel
be
that pressure.
deliberate about friendship,
Yeah.
because Joanne and I had to sit down and go, okay, let's talk about what kind of friendship we want to have, and lay the expectations, and lay down the expectations. Because you're right. I feel like sometimes if I don't tell you what I expect of you as my friend,
You're setting me up to
then
fail.
you can then turn around and say to me, but it. So when we went through that exercise of, and I personally, like I said, have been through toxic female friendships, and I had to go through a season of, and the reason I had to do this is because I'm a giver.
Yeah.
I am that person who is going to be, you don't have food for your family. Oh my God, here is 30K. You don't have, and it got to a point and I was like, but
Why am
I always give
when I stop calling fast, my phone stops ringing. When I stop reaching out fast, no one reaches out. And I had to go through a season of going, actually guys, these 100 people that I think are friends, are they actually friends? And it was really painful because I had to have conversations with people and go, it's not working for me. And then people do as we do as women. We turn around and you're like, oh, is it now because you got married? Or is it because you got promoted? Or now you feel you're better for me? And I'm like, I do. I do. So my expectation of my friend is that you will give in the same way that I will give.
The reason why I'm saying that those friendships are so
also important for me. I also don't have very many friends. And I think right now I only have one who's in the States who I can call on to even in the middle of the night and she'll pick up. You know, only one person, one. But at least I can say 5 in my hand, 5 who are close by. They're coming. You know, but you see, I also still feel like I am in the season, like you're saying you've been in that season. I am in the season where I sit in my house and I'm very comfortable. I'm an extrovert, by the way. I love to go out. I love to have fun. I love girls. Let's have fun and all that. But I find myself almost 2 weeks. If I have nothing I'm doing, I don't have a job. You know, for us it's seasonal. The jobs are seasonal. So if I don't have anything I'm doing, I'll sit in my house. And I will read, and I will watch a movie, and my phone won't ring. And when it does, it's someone saying Nakumis. And do you know what I told? There's one of my friends, and I know she'll be watching. So I told her this: I've come to see you 3 times. The 3rd time was the last time. I am not coming again. I live in Juja. I come all the way to Nairobi town to see you. You have to make the sacrifice. You have to make. You don't just write to me a WhatsApp message and say, Nakumis, if you miss me, you know where I'm at.
And I agree, it's a choice thing. Yes. So I'm only friends. My 5 friends I know will choose me. And I'm only friends with people I will choose. Because you're absolutely right. It's not that I chose you. It's not that, because I keep saying people make time. And I keep laughing because people say, oh, I'm really busy. I'm like, no, actually, you know what? People make time for things that are important to them. And I keep saying, I'm one person who, I am time poor. I have no time. I'm going to be very honest. You know, I have no time. But for my friends, I choose. I will choose to have 30 minutes, 45 minutes, meet Jojo for lunch, breakfast, whatever. 30 minutes, you know. But I expect the same. So it's absolutely a choice.
Now, what happens if, like, I've got these girls I've been with since campus, right? We were besties, we used to visit each other in each other's rooms, whatever. But you know, when life just happens, families, and I still love them. I you know, once in a while we try and get that whole get-together thing, and we meet up and talk. But really, that's like the summary of our lives. Like, let's just talk up at Juju, how's your boss? They don't share the same kind of, say, lifestyle that I share. I'm a very outgoing kind of girl. I drink my wine. I'm on social media. I am, it's like our interests are not really the same.
True.
But I love them for the people that they are, and maybe to me, I run to them and I want an anchor. Like, I want voice of reason. That's when I'm like, okay, yeah, these are the ones who keep me sane at least. Could that be the reason why we're not as close as we really should be? Whereby even when I'm going through the shits, right? I know I can still call you. You won't judge me. You won't ask too many questions that make me feel uncomfortable. But you just be like, okay, you done messed up, but let's talk about it.
I feel like as a person, nobody can be everything to one person.
Yes.
Even your husband or your children, you can't be. Yes.
I need to go shopping.
Start here.
Can somebody tell me?
I recently got
who's going to be my friend?
Okay, for me, this is what I say. The reason why I'm even in the season of letting go and saying I want to be in my space, I want to stay in my house. Okay. I want to be in my space, I want to be in my house, I don't want to meet a lot of people, is because I've already met them. I made friends. They were toxic, and eventually I got to the point where even my husband would sit down and tell me, okay, Abu, tell me, who are your friends? Tell me who your friends are. Because if I mention this one, the drama with that one is just, And anyway, at the end of the day, I thought to myself, it's also the things that you've done to me. Because I've had friends who've really hurt me, and hurt me deep, and hurt me even into my marriage. You understand? So,
I'm like, I've never had that.
For me, I think go where you're celebrated. I don't know who said that. Go where you're celebrated. And it works for me. And hence, I have, as my friends, I've chosen them because they feel different parts of my life. And hopefully I do the same for them. And so toxic relationship is not my portion. It's not me.